Welcome back, everybody. Today I want to talk about the 5 things you should know when it comes to the release of Chainsaw Man for English Weiss Schwarz. What you're going to see in this video are the contents and drop rate of the booster box and TD, price of Chainsaw Man rarity Makima, the prices of the high rarity, where the real value actually lies. That's going to be your playable cards and your playset. Lastly, the JP ban list. If you heard me say about number 4 about play sets, yeah, this is going to be one of those sets. The booster box came out on the JP side on June 16, 2023. English, we know, is coming out this Friday, February 16th. There are a total of 100 type of normal cards and 48 types of parallel, so they're pretty nice in the parallel. 2 Chainsaw Man rarity, 8 special rare, 8 overframe rare, 7 triple rare, 23 super rares, and for the players, 10 double rare. Now, there are 2 versions of cases because of that Chainsaw Man rarity. You're going to see 3 SP and 4 OFR in the unlucky case. If you are lucky to get a Chainsaw Man rarity, it's going to be 1 Chainsaw Man rarity, 2 SP, and 4 OFR. That were the rates for JP. If they change it in for English, don't blame me. But what we saw on the JP side was the Chainsaw Man rarity was not guaranteed in a master case, which meant it could have been 1 in 6 cases to actually end up with a Chainsaw Man rarity. That is scary. There are a whole host of different SP signatures inside of here, which is really cool. Now, if you want to see all the cards, I did a video when the JP version was coming out. You can find it on my channel. The title is Weiss Schwarz, all the amazing Chainsaw Man cards revealed, and booster box and trial deck info, so do check that out there. Now, I did not bother going to TCG Player and pulling off the English cards, but here are the JP versions. This is the Chainsaw Man rarity versions. You have Denji, you have Makima, which are going to be really hard to get. And of course, Makima is going to be the most expensive card in this set. You're going to see 3 of my favorite SPs right here. These are going to be ones that I either pull for myself or just purchase outright, because I definitely do want to have these copies of these cards. And then here is an example of OFR. On the left is going to be a rare power. On the right is your OFR. And lastly, here is example of triple rare. They use the same art on the majority, if not all of them. I don't remember offhand, but you could see this right here with Makima staring into a, I guess, I don't remember at the time if they were scared or just confused, but guys with blindfolds on their face. That was an amazing moment. If you didn't see that anime, I'm trying not to say anything. Inside of the booster box, you're going to see this playmat. I'm not a fan. I mean, it's okay for what it is, but I want them to use a playmat that uses the entire canvas, right? You got this wide area. I know this is Chainsaw Man already, so please use a different picture. But the picture is nice. You have the blood spattering everywhere. It works for what it is. Lastly, if you purchase your booster box from a tournament store, remember you do get a PR pack. I know Weiss Schwarz has been a little late on some of them. Hopefully this is all corrected by now, and then you're able to pick it up. But if you do go to a tournament store and get the booster box, make sure you get your PR pack. The trial deck came out earlier than the booster box on the JP side. It came out on April 21st, 2023. English side came out February 16, 2024, or will be anyways. There's going to be 2 super special rares, 2 overframe rares, 16 triple rares, 1 super rare. JP case had 1 SSP and 2 OFR, which really sucks because when you think about other trial decks, let's say Spy Family that just came out, they had 4 SPs. And what did you get? You got 2 SPs. This time it is an SSP, so it's super, super special. It means where you have to spend more money super specially to get those cards. So here are your cards. I was not the biggest fan of these cards. They didn't look the greatest to me. Power is going to be more expensive. Denji, if you end up with Denji, it's a sad day, because I'm about to show you some of these prices and prove to you that it was very heartbreaking if you ended up with the Denji. Now here is your Makima from the booster box, of course. This is your price from Yuyute back on June 2023. The red button means it was still available. It was 248,000 yen. Now, as of today, it was 128,000 yen, but completely sold out. So what we always say with that, right? If it's 128,000 and sold out, it could actually be higher in price. That equals out to about 850 US dollars. Now, if you go on to Facebook Global, you'll be able to see some people selling this card. We don't always know what it finally sells at, but I know some people are trying to sell it for 1,400, 1,300. I saw one under $1,000. So it makes sense that the price is somewhere in between, like let's say $850 up to let's say $1,300. I think that's pretty fair. And also for the fact that when English set comes out, people are trying to move this, so you may be actually able to pick up some deals when it comes to this card. Now the prices of the Chainsaw Man rarity cards, Makima definitely awesome. You just saw that. The Denji, not the greatest. It's still 34,800 yen sold out, so it could be higher than that. But obviously you want the Makima. That's where the value actually lies for this set. When you take a look at the SPs then, if you end up with the Denji or no Chainsaw Man rarity Makima, you're going to be looking at the SPs, and we know you're getting 2 to 3 depending on the case. And if you look at these, oh, we got Kobeni 7980 sold out. You have Power 8980. You have Himeno 7980, and the rest are down there under 4,000 yen. Now that has a lot to do with the amount of supply, how much of the set was actually opened, also the usage of these actual cards. So when you take a look at that and think about that, you're like, the EV, when you just consider these cards, probably not the greatest if you, again, don't get the Makima. Now you're thinking to yourself, alright, we still got OFRs inside of the booster box, so which one's a good one here? We got Himeno over here. That's going to be 1280 sold out, and from there, you have another 1280 in the form of Makima. You have a 1280 there for Bloody Decoration, which is your Denji. But outside of that, everything is below, and those are your OFRs. It starts to remind me of Attack on Titan final season. You're thinking to yourself, SPs are okay. Your OFRs are not the greatest. Then you take a look at triple rares. We got Sword of Determination out there, and then we got Top Secret Alliance. Even with those aren't going to be the greatest amount. So what is the last thing to actually save us? We have super rares, and you can barely see that, and it's purposeful so I can fit it onto the screen. But at the same time, there is nothing out here really that's good to write home about, right? You're not going to see like some 4,000 yen SR. No, nothing like that right now. So that's even thrown out. So then I go over here to trial deck. All right, maybe there's some better value inside of the trial deck. On the trial deck side, remember I said about the SSPs, your power is going to be your big one, 49,800, but Yute actually still has one left. Now you take a look at Denji 12,800, and that is completely sold out. So when you think about how much a trial deck case actually costs, it's going to be a bad day if you end up with Denji, because you remember there's going to be 2 OFRs. And your 2 OFRs are on your right. You got your Denji. You also got your Pochita, 4980 and 1480. That's not going to do it. It was pretty not good when you think about the trial deck pricing, especially in the scenario of the Denji. You also have triple rares inside of the trial deck. Here you go with your triple rares. What's the biggest one that I see? That would be 500 yen, and you normally get at least one foil inside of your trial deck outside of the super rare. So it's normally obviously going to be your triple rare, which is right here for you, which does not bring a lot of value for you. So you start thinking about all of this, right? Is the trial deck worth it? I mean, that's up to the person, right? If you want to shot at that power, feel free. If you want some of the cards that you can play with in here, feel free. But when I think about people like just indiscriminately buying cases of trial decks, I don't know if that's the best thing to actually do. When I think about the booster box, what we just talked about here, it's okay, but the real value comes from the set in general, right? In normal cases, you have foil cards, you have playable cards, and what we've seen in the past, right, when this whole collector boom happened, foil cards took up a lot of the value of the set. Now, when you think about Chainsaw Man, what I'm getting the impression of is playable cards. Because this scale, if you think about it, Makima was humongous, but does the SPs, OFRs, SSPs, triple rares, super rares, are they carrying the weight of the set? And honestly, I don't think so. I think This time around, you're going to be looking at actual playable cards. And how you do that is go out to Encore decks. You can see Kula splash throughout there. I mean, Kula does a good job, and you have other people on here, so not to ignore anybody, but you have the Dark Avenger, you got Sturban, you got let's see, Anonymous. You got Anonymous multiple times throughout here, but anyways, go out here, check out your decks. If you don't want to do that, then you can also watch one of these people that I recommend a lot, PGH Weiss Schwarz, which is Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz. They did a couple of videos for Chainsaw Man. You can check it out. Of note, the decks that I've looked through, there's been Stock Soul Bar, you have 6 Choice 2 Door, and lastly 8 Bar. I mean, you could do a bunch of different versions. What I'm trying to say here is there are a lot of decks to actually play with, and Chainsaw Man is really good, as in really good, as in meta good. So we're gonna see Chainsaw Man pop up a lot when it comes out. And if you think about those scales, well, I've been seeing people sell playsets of this for like 200 to 225. And I started thinking about this, right? Think about these scales. What I just showed you right here. I feel like for this set, I know there's going to be a lot of supply, but when you take a look at how many stores still have it or sellers still have it, a bunch of them are sold out. So I know there's people that purchase this. There's reasons why those SPs are low because the amount of supplies. I feel like there may be a point where play sets in this scenario are going to be priced too cheaply, especially when you consider the whole meta usage, the amount of decks that you can make with it to play with. I do like what Pittsburgh was talking about. I think Carmen or someone else on that video talked about the squisher deck. So me personally, I actually do want to play this set a lot. I honestly do. I've been looking over a bunch of the cards. I really want to play it. So I'm more of a 6 choice 2 door guy myself. But I mean, everybody has. Anyways, moving on. Double rare. Double rare. Just take a look at this. I want you to just take a look at the double rare. And the big one that should stand out to you, I know this is small on the screen, but I will tell you, First Taste of Makima. I don't know if that's the actual translation. Now that I like read it, I mean, it could be. That could actually be the name of the card. But anyways, that is sitting there at 2980 yen. Right? Just think about what I showed you price-wise when it came to the foils. You have a double rare, which you are going to get potentially 2 play sets of inside of your booster box case, and it's sitting there at 2980 yen. You also have your Himeno down there at 1280. So when you think about this set, when you think about where the value actually lies, I wonder if people are mispricing play sets. And I know you want to just pre-sell your play sets as fast as you can, but I feel like in some ways, maybe if the supply is not crazy and there's this giant demand for actual playable cards, that you'll think back that 200 was kind of a mistake. But I could be wrong on that. I mean, maybe eventually it'll get that way. Maybe like Hololive or one of those other sets that there's enough people that have it and it's just going to stagnate, which totally means then like this whole set is completely, I don't want to say worthless, but not worth it when it comes to an EV kind of thought process, right? Also, there's some things you need to know about. There are some rares that are worth picking up. There's some uncommons too, but I didn't bother putting that in here. But when you take a look at the rares, normally you see them down in the 50 yen, below 100 yen at the very least. But what you can see here, look at Kobeni right there, third from the right, 420 yen. Right, so you do have some cards that are playable in outside of the double rare slots. There always potentially are, but in this case, you will find that through the set. You also have some nice booster box toppers as well, so don't forget it. Don't forget about the Tournament Store PR pack. Now, lastly, what I want to talk about here is the restriction list. This comes off of Weiss Tea Time, this graphic anyways, and just to zoom in a little bit more on our Chainsaw Man, there was a JP ban. This set took second place at Worlds. It was 6 choice 2 door, and down below is going to be your, what was actually restricted. I don't want to say banned, but at least restricted. And I think when you take a look at this set, for the high amount of, I guess, decks you can play with, they seem like fun, the different varieties, the playable cards that you can actually get it. A playset actually makes sense if you're not going to just open a bunch of booster boxes. If you have actually wanting to play this game, I think this wouldn't be a bad set to actually purchase a playset of. I know it's crazy, but I myself, like I said earlier, like I definitely want to play this one. I just have this strong feeling that this is a set that I really want to play with. I don't know why. I mean, I love Chainsaw Man. That was an awesome show. If you haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend it. But let me know your thoughts down below. This is one of the harder ones that I had to come up with when I thought in my mind about buying and investing. The IP is really strong. You have strong meta usage. I wish the SPs and everything else high rarity were just a little bit better. I think if that could have been tweaked a little bit more, this set would have just been a slam dunk. But unfortunately, that's not what we ended up with. And that's why I showed that scale earlier of high foil cards versus playable cards. So lastly, as always, if you need to reach me for any reason, I added some notes, that's why I'm showing this to you again. I have all this down in my description, but again, if you do choose to send me anything, please let me know ahead of time, because I know people have sent me stuff and it's just kind of gone, or I have to inquire about at the place it actually sends to make sure they actually give it to me. And lastly, for the channel members, if you're a new channel member, let me know. I can send you a Discord link if you actually want it. I know there's channel members that don't actually want to use Discord. The other thing I was asked on another video about was what videos come out for channel members. I have exclusive videos for channel members, and the reason why I do that is not to like, what do you say, paywall people. I'm not trying to do that, but there's some things that I talk about or I want to talk about that I don't want to put out there publicly. There are certain reasons for that, but I don't want to make it public. These are supposed to be private for people that are channel members. So if you go to my channel, what you could do is check out the playlist. I don't know if you all knew about this, but you go here to playlist, and down below there's going to be this channel member only overtime videos. These are literally for channel members only. You hit the view full playlist. So last one I talked about was investing in reprints. That was a fun one. As always, have fun, be happy, don't spend anything outside your budget. I'm really excited for Chainsaw Man. This is going to be a good one. I really want to play this badly. So I will see you all later. Bye.